Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FB4. It's Friday, it's the 23rd of August, and this one is going to be a preview of the Liverpool v Arsenal game tomorrow at Anfield, 5:30 p.m. As I always say when I'm on this show, if you have anything random, anything LFC, non-LFC, non-football, whatever you have, throw it in there, and we'll have a little chat about it as we go. Let me see. Keegan's in, says evening. Haven't heard from you in a while, Keegan. How are you? Chris Brack is in. Evening, Chris. How are you? But look, Liverpool v Arsenal, 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. Do a little bit of a preview. We'll try pick a lineup. We'll try pick a lineup, and then we'll try pick a prediction. We have our free bets tonight, which I'm going to let you help me choose, even though I'm being put in charge of them. I'm going to let you help me choose them tonight. Let me see a couple of things coming in. What's with Matt Roberts on his Twitter account? Matt, I think, got suspended from Twitter and opened up a new one. That's it. That's all I know. Barry Carr says, good evening from Luxembourg. Good evening, Barry. That's dedication. Good man yourself. Ha 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 ha, Everton. Yeah, beaten 2-0 tonight by Villa. I think I seen 2-0 just before the final whistle went. Chris Pross 86 says, I'm back. Where were you? Where were you gone? Let me know where you were gone. Barry Carr is on the sauce in Luxembourg. Good man. Gav, what's your handicap? Is that golf? I'll tell you a little bit about that later. I'm doing quite well. Dick says, Diev with a smiley face. Yeah, it's all coming in now. Are Arsenal regretting the sacking of Wenger? I don't think so. I think for Arsenal to progress, I think they needed to move on from Wenger. I'm being honest with you. But we'll have to wait and see how they get on this season. Unai Emery had for me a difficult job in his hands. With the players they had, the imbalance in the squad. But we'll see how they get on tomorrow, I suppose, and as the season progresses. Diev won the transfer window, says Marty McFly. Did he claim that this time? Good luck. I like it. Mick says he missed the show yesterday, but buzzing about the Anfield Road announcement. Finally getting me season ticket. Are you in the list? Are you on the list, Mick? How far up the list are you? How far up the list are you? Let me know. Are you close to getting that season ticket? Chris was in Vegas. What a spot! Let me know where you stayed, Chris. I've been there twice, and I loved it both times. Let me see. Good evening, Edward from Kenya. Hiya, Edward. How are you? Typical Everton going for the top of the table tonight. Yeah, imagine they just got a draw there tonight. They would have been top of the league, and I don't know, putting banners up at the side of Goodison. You're about 2,000 on the list. Oh well, then you'll be flying, won't you? You'll absolutely be flying if that's the case. Let me see. I haven't even got to tell you. I'll tell you now. This comes to you with thanks to Paddy Power. Paddy Power, as you know, is a bookmakers. They have an app on the Apple Store, on the Google Play Store. Go in there, download it, register for an account, get your odds on football, on Liverpool, on all the sports beyond that, and everything else. Specials, power ups. What's the odd Paddy, all the stuff like that. Go and get it. If you do gamble responsibly, as I always say. If you don't gamble, disregard what I've said. It's not for you. That's absolutely fine. This show is sponsored by them, but is not dictated by them, so it's not heavily, betting wise. Maybe around the games it is a little bit when we're trying to do our free bets. We come up with a couple of ideas around the free bet tonight, and I'll go into that later on, and we'll see how people think. Dunno says it's funny how confident Arsenal fans are. They have 2 from 2. I think they're quite happy with this being so early in the season. Trying to catch us on the hop. The only thing that does them is we have had a week's rest after a fairly hectic opening week to the season. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they get on, but we'll get into the Arsenal game in a few minutes when these comments just keep coming, so I'm going to have to keep answering them. The night concept, says Barry Carr. My goodness, no problem with those, gorgeous. Haven't seen them, Barry. I don't know who done them. Are the official concepts? I haven't got a clue. I'm going to presume they're red with kind of flecky bits up on the top of the shoulder and the night sign, and basically Chelsea in red. But as I said, we're gonna have to wait and see. Let me see. What else have we got? What else have we got? Heavy D singing on Twitter. Yeah, listen, this fella Heavy D, right? I've said it before. We were talking about it the other night. He's basically he was on Storage Wars or Storage Hunters or something alongside that. Um, I pay very little attention to him. Is he part of Arsenal Fan TV or wherever its conception is now, whatever way they have it now? Sancho again tonight, says Chris. Yeah, he played for Dortmund. At the last I seen, they were 3-1 up. I believe he had quite a big effect on the game. But we'll have to, yeah, boom. This is the lad that says boom all the time. Yeah, it's this Heavy D lad. But look, it's ridiculous. Is he part of the Arsenal? Is it Arsenal Football Club TV or Arsenal Fan Channel TV or whatever they have? They used to call themselves Arsenal TV or something and couldn't do it anymore. Something along them lines. So let me know. Are they part of that? Or is he part of it? Does anyone else think? Sorry, Mick is on the football. Good man, Mick. Does anyone else think Fabinho has started the season slow? Would prefer a more mobile midfield versus Arsenal? I thought he was quite good against Norwich for about 65 minutes. Slowed off after that. Played the 120 in Istanbul. Come on late against Southampton. I don't listen. I think half of them kind of nursed themselves through that first week. You know, a home game against Norwich, go to Istanbul, away to Southampton, a full week's break now, and I think it'll do them the world of good. Listen, all players are going to be, you know, I think if you put any squad together and you try put them, you know, through what they went through in the first week of the season, they're going to slow off. They're going to slow off near the end. They absolutely are, you know. But no, I'd have Fabinho on that team without a shadow of a doubt. I really would. So, Dunno says he made 8 tackles against Norwich. Yeah, I thought he was quite good for about 60, 65. Fabinho is undroppable. I think the way we want to play on Saturday, he is. I think he'll nick a lot of ball. He'll protect against Arsenal from a break through the middle. You know, I just think he's invaluable to Liverpool at the moment. I really, really do. But let's look. We go through the team as this show progresses, and we'll see how we get on. Cop says just back from the gym. Can't wait for the game. Good man, going to the gym. I had a thought in my head earlier of maybe I'll go running next week, and kind of went off of them within about an hour. I'm always doing that. Arsenal versus Liverpool. This game will be decided in midfield, says Keegan. I don't know if I agree with you, Keegan. I think if Liverpool's front three are on their game, I don't think Arsenal stand a chance. And that's being honest with you. I think if they're on their game and being backed up, whether it be by an Oxlade-Chamberlain or a Henderson or a Wijnaldum or somebody, you know, breaking from midfield, I think we could overrun them. I really, really do. But I'll definitely look at the pros and cons of all the players and you know, formations and bits and pieces as we go on. Team for tomorrow, I'm assuming Adrian, Trent, Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Robbo, Hendo, Fabinho, Gini, Salah, Firmino, Mane. I think we'll need Gomez pace versus Arsenal attack, then use Ox off the bench to seal it. Chris, you've had a good think about that, in fairness to you. I don't know. I'd be fairly close to that team, I think, but let's see how we get on. Not got out of fourth gear yet. We full throttle tomorrow and smash them. You see, that's the thing for me, Chris. I think it's made up perfectly for us. A week's break, 5:30 Saturday. The crowd will be well up for it. You know, Anfield will be rocking. It's the first big kind of test of our Premier League season, and you know, I think it's just a game there. I just feel even that going into it against Arsenal's mentality when they come to Anfield, I think it's just made for us, really do. Mick says with the acceleration of the Arsenal front three, I think we might be better off with Gini, Ox, Hendo. You're talking then about not having Fabinho. I don't think so. Now, this fella, I call him Cabios, but people are calling him Ceballos or Ceballos or listen, the Spanish fella we call him, right? How does that sound? Haven't seen much of him. Heard he was decent against Burnley. Linked with us, a lot of people saying that he would be a really good signing for us. I haven't really seen enough of him. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Are we worried about our high line and their pace up top? plus David Luiz's long passes? Not really. I don't think we when say the opposition centre half has it and turns and looks up that we push up the pitch and make a high line. I don't think that's the way we do it. I think what we do is when the ball is in midfield, we do like the press, and our back line is, I would say, 5 yards higher. It's not 15 yards higher and we're standing on the halfway line constantly. I think it's about 5 yards. Marty McFly says, I think we can see a red card tomorrow. Well, Hitham Frank, who's Ian from Paddy Power, is on the line. He's on the chat here, so if you have any bets that you'd like to put together, Ian will watch, Ian will price, and Ian will put them up on the Day Tripper special on Paddy Power. How to get to that? Go to Liverpool v Arsenal. Go to what's the odds, Paddy. Scroll down, you'll see the LFC. You'll see the LFC Day Trippers page. There's about 4 or 5 specials there at the moment. And as I said, tonight we're going to have to decide between all of us what bets we put on for this €20 this weekend. Grizz is there. Hi Grizz. Hi, he says, hi Gav. Grizz, how are you? I know you're a very busy man tonight. I'm planning to go and see Grizz in about a month's time in London. I was just thinking about that tonight. A penalty to be scored, says Paul. Paul, add something to that. A penalty to be scored and, something else, and you might get a decent odds on it. Nailed on Louise, yellow at least. Again, Grizz, pick something else, like a correct score with that, and we'll see. Mick, 4-2 to Liverpool. Ox the last scorer. There's one for Ian. That'll be interesting. Ian might be able to sort you out with that. So look, let's get forward to the game. We go with Arsenal first because I'd like to see what people think. The Cop Table last night was a really good pod. It was a really good preview to the game. They had a guy called Elliot from, I think it's called Arsenal Vision podcast. He's based in America. Really nice guy. Spoke really well about Arsenal. Spoke really nicely about Liverpool. He had a really good breakdown of what he felt about VAR. If you get a chance, go back to listen to the Cop Table. He wasn't too sure whether Arsenal would go 3 at the back or 4 at the back. There's pros and cons to this for Arsenal. I think David Luiz is better in a 3, personally, because I think it's less responsibility around him. He can kind of be the spare man that kind of doesn't have to be man on man with forwards, and he can kind of mop up things. And as well as that, he gets a bit more room to hit these passes that people speak about. Mane, Bobby, Salah, all to score odds. I think that's about 11-2, Paddy. I think I read that earlier. Is Grizz still knocking about? Of course Grizz is still knocking about. Grizz is a top bloke. Of course he's still knocking about. But look, Arsenal, we don't know what way to go. I would feel Arsenal will probably have to come out with a back 4, because I think a back 5, I think it leaves too much room down the sides. It needs, it would need their wing backs to be pushed quite high up the pitch to deal with us, and then the space in behind, and Liverpool literally go 3-on-3. And when Liverpool go 3-on-3 against any defence in the world, the defence never comes out on top. The difference in this game, Gav, is that Cabios can keep the ball and dictate. Yeah, he's that sort of player, I think, that can keep the ball and dictate, but it's very hard to keep the ball against Liverpool and dictate anything against Liverpool, simply because if you want to try pass it around, we will pressure and we will make you make mistakes, and then we nick it off you, and then you will go away from trying to keep the ball, especially in your third of the pitch. You will go away from that because you do not want to be caught. That's just my opinion. But what I can see from Arsenal, I can see Leno in goal. I can see is a Maitland-Niles right back. I can see Nacho Monreal left back. I can see is a Socrates and David Luiz centre half. I think most people would agree on that. Looking at that, I think Monreal is probably the most sound defender out of them all. I think he's better suited as well to a back 3, believe it or not. I think he's better off suited as a left centre back. But he's full back. I can't wait to see Salah get at him. Maitland-Niles really good going forward, positive, strong, fast. Going back the other way. I just don't think he works. Farrell says, Gav, Arsenal are all wind and piss. Yep, they absolutely could be. We'll find out tomorrow even. We absolutely will. But do people agree on that back 4? Do you think that's the way to go in? I have a feeling they will. Midfield is very interesting. They have got Guendouzi, they have got Xhaka, they have Torreira, they have Cabios. They've decent quality in the middle of midfield. It's just getting the right mix for them. His midfield will probably dictate the way he wants to go up front. I have a feeling he may go Mkhitaryan. He may go Lacazette, and he may go Aubameyang off the left. I think he may do that. I think he might, like most teams do, is try to expose down that side of Trent and Matip or Gomez. So I think that's so. I'm left with 3 in midfield. So I don't think Mkhitaryan does an awful lot walking back. I don't think Aubameyang will do an awful lot walking back. Him Frank says Pepe defo starts. I don't know if he starts because I think, as Elliot, the Arsenal fan, said on the cup table last night, he doesn't like to go back the other way from what he's seen. So we'll have to wait and see. If he does go Pepe, he'd put him down the left. He'd probably go Aubameyang up front and leave Lacazette out. He could do something like that. But I think the front 3 will dictate the midfield. If they go that attacking in the front 3 where players don't want to come back, you will probably see Torreira. You'll probably see Xhaka or Guendouzi. And I think this guy Willock is being mentioned. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm not too worried about the midfield. I think I think that although they can be quite hard working, I don't think there's much creativity in there. I don't, so I'm not really worried about that. Barry Carr says Arsenal may as well attack. They absolutely may as well attack because, they what have they got to lose? When they sit back against us, it just doesn't work, does it? And they get picked apart. But again, I wouldn't mind. I've said it before. I don't mind Arsenal coming out and attacking us, and I don't mind Arsenal making it, I suppose, a stretch game, end-to-end game, and I don't mind Arsenal sitting back either, because I think teams have probably learned in the last year or so, sitting back against Liverpool, what happens is they'll just pass and pass and pass, they'll move it, they'll play triangles on the left, they'll get it back in the middle of midfield, and they'll switch it across to the right back, and they'll make you run and run and run, and after 65-70 you've nothing left in the tank, and Liverpool then pick you apart if needs be. Peter Phillips says, evening Gav. Peter, how are you? I'm just chatting about your podcast last night and how Elliot spoke so very well about Arsenal and Liverpool. Bobby has scored in every home game versus Arsenal. Absolutely ridiculous, says Ian. I think he's a good bet. But Ian, we're still looking for the price on Mane and Van Dijk to both score headers tomorrow. That's our special bet we're looking to put on. Well, one of our special bets, I'm going to split it in 2. Can't see our line being high. Can't see our high line being in play tomorrow like the first 2 games, says Chris. I think it does be at times. I think we're not over egging it. We're not over egging it. But I think it's only 5 yards. I don't think it's a massive thing. And I think that we're trying to put out, I think, like Shawnee off the trippers reckons we're doing it because of VAR, and we're trying to, any little bit where they're offside, we're going to get away with it. And I think there is something in that. But I think while the midfield tries to find a rhythm, I think the defence is trying to help by pushing them up and making the midfield go that extra 5 yards and not put pressure on. But when the midfield gets into a rhythm and gets settled, I don't see the high line being that issue, and I don't think it'll be as noticeable as we get into the season. That's just the way I see it. Mick expects Trent to have a big day tomorrow. I think the thing Trent needs to do is Trent needs to not hesitate in what he's trying to do. 100 to 1 is what Ian is offering me on Mane and Van Dijk double with headers. Ian, if you can get that up on the site, we are going to put that bet on tonight. That's one of them. Bobby for 50 Premier League goals tomorrow, so I don't know. Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? Liverpool -2 on the handicap and all the front 3 to score. Oh, now Ian, there's one for you. Liverpool -2 and all the front 3 to score. And Ian says the stats prove we're trying to play offside. Yeah, I think we are trying to play on that a little bit. I absolutely do. But I think part of it is trying to assist the midfield and getting up that little bit higher and making the amount of ground they have to cover that little bit less. I think when they get into the groove, I think we might see a little bit of a drop off in that. Mick reckons Podrick show is a really good one. So that's Liverpool -2 and all of the front 3 to score. Ian, sort that out. Peter says we should see a more solid defensive performance after a week on the training ground. Yeah, it's a massive thing. It's an absolutely massive thing. Klopp always talks about time with his players. Even during the season there when we were in Champions League and we were going really well and stuff like that, he brought them away twice for warm weather training. Now people went, oh, warm weather is great. It's basically getting them away for a week, for a week to go through tactics and just fine tune things, and I think he really, really loves that. Ian, there's another one there for you. What's 4-2 Liverpool to win with Bobby Ford's goal? Ian, you better keep up here. Arsenal full on media push about them having changed their mentality, says Farrell. How? How have they changed their mentality? How have they changed their mentality? I'd like to know how they changed their mentality, because they clearly haven't last season. They went away and won away in Newcastle to look a shambles. And they beaten Burnley at home, which is a sort of scraped 2-1 with Burnley, which is a game you usually expect Arsenal to win, because Arsenal are really good for the majority of seasons against the bottom 13. Last season they were appalling away from home, and that's what caused them in the run-in, I suppose, for Champions League and stuff like that. The frailty from set pieces should improve with the full week. Yeah, it's just fine tuning. It's absolutely fine tuning. But look, the Arsenal team I'll pick, after all that waffling from me, will be Leno, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz, Nacho Monreal. I think he goes with Guendouzi, Cabios, and I think he might go Torreira, and then I think he might go Aubameyang, Lacazette, Mkhitaryan. That's where I'm going to go with them. Razor asks, Gav, ask Ian what the odds are on Virgil taking his rod out, celebrating his hat-trick goal at the Cop End. Well, Ian's just informed me he has a few drinks on board tonight, but he is taking note of all these, and he will get them all on Paddy Power first thing in the morning. So he's going to price that all up in Paddy Power first thing in the morning, so keep your eye out there. Ian, it's up to you to write all them down as you go, or remember them. They're all there for you. It's what you asked for, and that is what you have been given by the lads. Let me see. Virgil to take his Larry out at the Cop End is 11-8 on. Okay, we're going down the wrong road here, lads. We really, really are. Listen, if you're on Periscope watching this, or Twitter, or whatever way you're watching, the Periscope app, or straight through Twitter, or you're on YouTube, hit the share button, subscribe on YouTube. It goes onto your Twitter timeline. People on YouTube, if you want to share it, if you want to tell people about it, subscribe to the channel. Do all that. It means we get more people watching. It means we get more opinion. It means that it makes it much harder for me to keep up with these comments, but that's how I like it. As I said, if you have any random stuff you want to ask me about, absolutely ask me. Razor is absolutely delighted with the talk of Virgil's wand being taken out at the Cop End. That's made Razor's Friday night. Razor will be on it now till probably about 4:30 tomorrow before the game starts. He'll have an hour's nap and then he'll go back on it again. That's how our Razor works. On to Liverpool. 2 from 2. 2 from 2. Good win against Norwich. Hard fought win against Southampton. Super Cup in the middle. A week's rest, which is massive. Kate is out for a couple of weeks. Alisson out for a couple of weeks. Other than that, we look in good shape. I think the timing of this game, with it being that evening kickoff at Anfield on the TV, I think it basically is brilliant. Your top 3 songs, asked Chris Brack. Give me a few minutes on that. But I just think it's perfectly set up. If it was 11 or 12 o'clock on a Saturday, I'd be kind of and the crowd get up, Arsenal catches cold. But I think the build up to it, the buzz around Anfield when you go, the players can feel it, the management can feel it. So I think that gives Liverpool nearly a gold start, in my opinion. It could go all horribly wrong tomorrow. Arsenal come in and dog it out and get a 1-0. Could happen, absolutely could happen. But it's 3 games in. I'm not panicking either way. Team wise, Adrian will be in goal. Robertson will be left back. I think Trent will play right back. I think he will go Matip and Van Dijk. People are talking about pace and stuff like that. I absolutely get that, but I just think from what I've seen of Gomez, he's being caught in behind a little bit, and it's not pace and stuff like that. It's just his position and his understanding and being back in the team. But Matip's been there all for the majority of last season, and I just feel Matip may get the nod tomorrow. Midfield wise, I think he goes Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Henderson. The Ox will feel a little bit hard done by to be left out, but with Fabinho and Henderson only coming on to shore things up against Southampton, I would have been left on the bench if we were 3-0 up or 2-0 up going into the last couple of minutes. I think them two are being rested with this game in mind. And I think overall, I think that Klopp will be looking at this squad to say, look lads, just give me Arsenal and give me Burnley, and then go away in international duty, and we'll rev things up when we come back. So I think he will go with that midfield three. But look, let's be honest, the likes of an Oxlade-Chamberlain off the bench is an absolutely brilliant option, especially if an Arsenal side are tiring. You have a guy going on there against his former team, who I don't think really like him because he looks like he's having a great time at Liverpool. If that sounds right, so I think he will go with that midfield three. It will be the three lads up front. I expect Salah to get at Monreal as much as he can. I expect Mane to get at Maitland-Niles, and I expect Firmino to drop off as he does, and the two centre halves not really knowing, whether to go with him or not. If Firmino is on it tomorrow, he could cause all sorts of issues for Arsenal. And I know that sounds like a really, obvious thing to say, but the reason I'm saying is because he's looked so sharp in the first two. I don't want to see a drop off after a week of rest. I want to see him bang on it again, and he's so integral to what we do, especially in these games where it can be a bit hyper, and he loves all that hyperness and the mentalness of it, but he's able to just drop off, turn in spaces and cause havoc. What price will you give Gav on the Ox starting? I don't think he starts. I'm being honest with you, but I think he's a great option off the bench. If you look at the bench, then you will have Gomez on there. You'll have Milner. You'll have Oxlade-Chamberlain. You'll have Origi. You may have Lallana. You have a decent bench. You have a really decent bench as well. So, but I do see. That's the team I see. Kev O'Sullivan reckons that's our strongest fit 11 right now. I think so. I honestly do. But then again, you look at Milner. Milner for me is a great sub on, and I always say it, 60-65 whether you're winning or losing. Winning or losing, he's a great option. Shaqiri is another one there. Exactly. You see, there's options there if you wanted to change formation. But Shaqiri is the type, if you're winning the game, he can get hold of it, he can keep it, and he can open up teams as well. We've really good options. People go on about our strength and depth. We're looking at Keita there out. We're looking at, Alisson's out. A couple of players are coming back and just finding their way, and we still have loads of players there. Brewster on the bench, I don't think so. He's the pick 7 subs. It's like, let's pick 7. So if you go with Lonergan as your goalkeeper, you're probably going to go with Gomez. That's 2. You're going to have you're going to have Milner, and you're going to have Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's 4. You're going to have Shaqiri as 5. You'll probably have Lallana, which is 6, and you'll have Origi, which would be the 7th. So we'll have to wait and see. Is Bobby the one player in our squad that you couldn't go into the market to replace? In my opinion, he's unique, says Kev O'Sullivan. Probably. But I think it's very hard to replace Mane and what he does for Liverpool. I think it's near on impossible to replace Virgil van Dijk, and I think it's extremely difficult to replace Alisson. That's just the way I feel about it. But I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. But I think there's a couple of players there now. Salah the same. What he does for us, it's extremely hard, because this is what happens when you have a world-class squad, and I believe we do have that. I think we will add to that in the next 6 to 12 months. So you can probably replace most of them, but it's extremely difficult, and it'll cost you a hell of a lot of money. And the way we're putting money in the bank with sponsorship deals that are rumoured and stuff like that, the progression of the Champions League, the league finished last season, all the endorsements and stuff we have, people know we have a lot of money. We have a lot of money, and we're probably going to get that little Liverpool tax again when it comes to it. Listen, have you any random stuff for me? Somebody asked me favourite 3 songs. Favourite 3 songs? What's your favourite songs? Somebody give me your favourite song. There's probably an Oasis one in there. There's most definitely an Oasis one in there. Which one though? I love Champagne Supernova by Oasis. Very hard to pick 3 songs. But I'll get to it in the end. Listen, the free bets. We were talking about it last night, and we were talking about, what way will we do this? Do we give them away? You see, what I was finding was I was picking people to give them away to, and I was finding it hard to contact them. You know, you send someone a DM on Twitter, and they mightn't see it. Someone comments on YouTube, and you know they don't. The only way I can get hold of them is to reply to that message that they've sent on the podcast, and they mightn't go back in until they're watching it a couple of days later. So unless you really have someone's phone number or WhatsApp or whatever, it's very hard to give them these bets in time, get them to tell you, put the bet on and stuff like that. So we came up with an idea last night. What we're going to do is we're going to, every week I'm going to pick just one person that's watching the broadcast the night before a game. So what I'll do is I'll pick one early on in the podcast. When I pick them, they'll have the rest of the podcast to choose their free bet, okay? We'll place the bet for them, or we get it priced up if we need to. We'll place the bet, and when we place the bet, what we do is, say for argument's sake, the bet is 20 quid at 10 to 1, just for argument's sake, you win 200 quid, okay? We'll give them 100, and what we do is, we put the 100 aside, okay? And we put that in the kitty, yeah? But if the bet is a winner, that person stays on for the following game, and goes on and on if he keeps winning, right? That's what we're going to do. So, but someone suggested then last night, no Gav, you go first. So I'm going to go first. So there's a €20 free bet on it. I'm definitely going to go with €10 on Mane. I'm going to go on Mane and Van Dijk to both score headers tomorrow. And the other one I'm going to look up now. Kev O'Sullivan says the charity bet is the way to go. I agree with you. I think it is the way to go. I think what we do is the person that makes the bet though gets chosen and makes the bet. If they win, they should get some of it. Everyone agree on that? So what we do is if the win is 200, we will give 100 to the person that's made the bet, and 100 will go in the kitty for charity. And then what we do is that person will go on and make the bet the next week. If he doesn't win, I'll choose someone else then for the next game. But the winner stays on. That's the way it's going to. That's really the way it's going to go on it. So let me see what we have here. Okay, so I'm gonna put €10 on Mane and Van Dijk to both score headers, which is 100 to 1, and then I'm going to put. I like this one. Salah and Aubameyang to score and over 3.5 goals. I'm going to put €10 on that one. That one comes in at 11 to 2, which is 5.5 to 1. So €10 gets you €55 returned. So that's the two bets of this week. If I win, I'll stay on. If I don't, somebody else will be chosen for the Burnley game. By the way, if I win this bet, I won't be taking half of it. I won't be taking half of it. I will be putting the whole lot to charity. I'm not taking any money out of it. Half the winning should go on a kitty for a tripper's piss up, says Mick. Mick, listen, we'd want to be winning an astronomical amount of money to service the trippers for a weekend on a piss up, because it needs a health warning when we go away, I'm being honest with you. So them two bets are going to be put on. If they win, it all goes to charity and I'll stay on. If they don't win, nothing goes to charity, nothing goes to anybody, and the next person takes a shot and we go from there. That's what we're going to do. The charity we haven't decided on. Somebody recommended the food banks, or there was other charities that were mentioned, but what we do is we'll put it all in there, see how we get on to the end of the season, and when that money's there at the end of the season, me and all of you will decide where it goes, because you're more important to this than I am. So that's the way we'll absolutely go. Predictions for tomorrow's game. I've said it all week. I have to stick with it, and I'm going to stick with 4-1 to Liverpool. I believe Arsenal will come and give us a good game. I believe they will score, but I believe they won't be able to handle us. I have a feeling these front three are going to be absolutely on it tomorrow. Backed up by a midfield that's being rejuvenated with a week's rest, and a backline that's fine-tuned since Southampton. So we'll have to wait and see. Any chance day trippers have an event night? Farler, if we had enough people that would come to an event night with us, sit in the pub, drink, and be quiet enough for us to do a podcast for maybe a half an hour to an hour, we would absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. Adders has 2-2. Dick says 4-2 to LFC. Peter Phillips says 4-2 to LFC. Kevin Sullivan says 4-1. So a lot of Liverpool wins in there. Keegan says 2-all, but I think he's reacting to the person that commented before. Prediction: LFC to score 4 and Ox to score any time. That is on our specials board. That's on our specials board if you want to go to that. Mick says that's what he was getting at. A tripper's night. Yeah, listen, we do anything. You know us, we do anything. It all depends where you do it. Would you do it in Liverpool? Would you do it in Dublin? We've done a few in Dublin. We've done the Champions League against Real Madrid, which was a really good night, despite the result. But we could do it in Liverpool if we knew a load of people, our loadies were over there. We could pick a game and say, right lads, we're going to this one, and as many people on this pod that are watching this can book flights and get over there, and we'll get a pub and we go for it for the day. Marty McFly says 2-0 to LFC. Alan says 2-0. Nice and confident. Alan, I've never seen you on this before on YouTube. I don't think so. You're very welcome. I'm going to go 4-1. Let's pick scores for the laugh. Let me see. I'm going to go Salah, Firmino, and Mane with 2. Is that a bit brave? Is that a bit stupid? I don't know. But look, it's one of those. You know, I think if Liverpool are scoring 4, I think it's a good bet that these lads. It's a good bet that these lads up front are going to do some absolute damage. Favorite songs, 3 songs. Some might say by Oasis is definitely in there. I like American Pie. I like American Pie, but very hard. I'll have to come back tomorrow and talk about that. 3 songs. Listen, I'm gonna go. That's been 47 minutes I've taken away from your Friday night, and that's not fair. I'll be back tomorrow. The game should finish at about 7:30 tomorrow, 7:20 in around that. Call it 7:30. I'll be on tomorrow at 8 PM, and we'll come on for half an hour. We do an immediate reaction to the game. I always leave it about half an hour after the end of the game because people watch player interviews, manager interviews, and then probably have to put up with Neville and Carragher being idiots on fucking Sky for half an hour. So we'll go for 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Join me then on YouTube. Join me on Periscope. Come on, give you a reaction to the game. We'll have loads of reaction to it, regardless of the result. So hopefully Liverpool win. Hopefully go 3 from 3 on to Burnley then. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily, Friday the 23rd of August. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we will see you afterwards. Over now.